Thanks to supporters of channel member Jason Odendahl. Oh, folks, if you are anything like me, then you like both money and having an opinion on things. If you do like both of those things, you're going to love today's video sponsor, YouGov. YouGov is a website where you can take surveys to earn points and get cash rewards. They've got polls and surveys about politics, pop culture, products and brands. And with energy prices going up the way they are, I'm quite happy to spend a few minutes while I'm pooping doing a survey if it means I can have my air conditioning on in this office over the summer. Want an example of the kind of thing you might have to do in a survey? Well, here I'm looking at different tourist attractions and giving them a thumbs up or thumbs down range. The Sydney Opera House, I mean, we'll give that a big thumbs up. Riverside Museum, never heard of it. Look how easy it is. So if you're like me, have opinions, like money, there's a link at the top of the description where you can join YouGov and start taking surveys and earning cash. Let's face it, it's about time we all started doing something a little bit more constructive whilst we were on the toilet. Hello folks and welcome to a very special final part of this year's Non-League to Legend. As you can see, all of the Dortmund paraphernalia is gone. I'm in my civilian gear because we have got into the time machine. We've gone 5 years forward into the future and we're going to have a look to see what's been going on in the world since I retired. We should probably jump straight into that. As you can see, Temporary Kev is back involved. Where is he? Let's have a look at Temporary Kev. Temporary Kev! Unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring back from the dead the Temporary Kev that actually won the Champions League. So this is just a generic new Temporary Kev, who is now 61 years old. So if I hadn't have retired my in-game manager, who shares my date of birth, birthday incoming, you know, if you want to, my 40th birthday soon. If you want to do a party for me, fine, we can have a party. Just let me know down in the comments. But it is nearly my 40th birthday. But that means we are now 22 years into... It's 2044. How does this maths work? Yeah, we're 22 years into the future on a normal save. But of course, we're not worried about what's just going on in the normal world. What we want to know about is what's been going on with the teams that we were managing. We're going to work back through each of them, have a look to see what everybody's been getting up to, and also check in and have a little look at what's going on in the wider footballing world. But we need to start off with Borussia Dortmund just to see what kind of impact I had long term. The first thing I'm noticing is that Borussia Dortmund, Bundesliga champions. I'm also still on the favoured personnel list here at Dortmund, which is very nice to see. But Dortmund winning the Bundesliga. So the last year we won was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was the last one I won, 2038-39. So the new manager, whoever that was, we'll find out about that in a minute, did win the Bundesliga the next year. But it looks like we didn't permanently kill off Bayern Munich because they then won the league. Dortmund won it back again, then Bayern, then Dortmund again. So it looks like Leipzig just had that 1 year. I wonder if Benny McCarthy is still there, my nemesis, but it looks like he never achieved the same kind of heights again. He just fluked a good team. Nagelsmann did eventually leave Bayern. Did he get fired? I'll say, yeah, he did get fired. He got fired the year we won the Champions League. So obviously the board couldn't cope with the fact that Dortmund had officially displaced Bayern as the big team in Germany. Good to see Luis Gustavo still top scorer in the league. Ballo still one of the top players. These are players who are still knocking around at Dortmund. I don't know who Stephen Cook is, but who is the Dortmund manager? Efkan Bekiroglu, who didn't take over straight after me. He was the Hamburg manager. In real life, he is a player for Alanyaspor. But he was Hamburg manager when I won the Champions League with Dortmund, took over at Hoffenheim for a year, went to Barcelona for a year before checking in at Dortmund. So he's not the guy who immediately replaced me. So I guess we need to have a look at manager history. So I was replaced by Zinedine Zidane. Wow. So I retired before Zidane. So there's me, then there's Zidane, who, do we get his managerial career? Because I feel like I'd replaced him at clubs before. Did I replace him at Real Madrid? So he was at Milan. Why don't we have a manager history on here? This is absurd, Football Manager. we should just have a simple manager history to look at. After leaving Hertha Berlin, so 7-year spell at Real Madrid. I think I replaced Zidane at Real Madrid. He then went to Manchester United and then left Manchester United. Was he fired from Manchester United? Have a look at their manager history. Marcus Rashford was manager for a year at Manchester United. He left. No, he did. So he left United when I left Dortmund, went somewhere else briefly, and then ended up at Dortmund. But it doesn't say, unless he just left and didn't have a job for a couple of years. Oh, no, sorry. He did take over Dortmund straight away, didn't he? I'm an idiot. He's not the current Dortmund manager. So, he left Manchester United to take over for me at Dortmund. I like the fact that that establishes just where Dortmund got to in the footballing world under my leadership, and then retired after 2 years himself. Did they win another Champions League? No, he did. Zidane did get to runners-up in the Champions League the year after, and he won one Bundesliga, but he retired after Bayern won the Bundesliga back again. And the new guy, Berikoglu, has won 2 Bundesligas since. So it looks like, he's only 48 as well. He's in for the long haul. Dortmund are going to be a major European power for a long time, hopefully. This is the current first team. Let's see how many of them we recognise. That is a front four of Luis Gustavo, Ballo, Drury and Boning 5 years on. That is actually the front four that was at the club before I arrived. So it's interesting that there's no Colin Schultz in there. Suggests Schultz has been sold on, so we'll go and find him in a minute. But I think that's really interesting that after 5 years, they've gone back to the front four that was there before I arrived. No Ruben, no Schultz. So that I was there 2 years. That front four has been together at least 7 years at this point. The four of them should just have a statue of the four of them together outside the ground. Stubaluk's there in midfield. Stephen Cook is just some guy that they signed from Juventus. Yeah, I thought he might have been a player. He came through the youth team. He's not. Good Serbian name, Stephen Cook. He's got English as another nationality. Who'd have thought? And then Locatelli, Stewart, Diego, Alberto, and John. That is my back four. Obviously, again, Stewart and Locatelli were there before I arrived, but I signed Norberto and John. And then they've got the Rock in goal, Paul Rock, who's been there a couple of years, having signed from Hertha, and he was at Hertha during the save. I feel like we must have had the Rock in goal jokes before, back when we were at Norwich and he was in goal for Southampton, but he is now Dortmund's long-term manager. Other players that are still there, Idolof's still there, Arellano. Did he end up any good? Not really. He ended up a fringe player. And there's no other really obvious names. Let's just check in on a couple of these superstars. So Luis Gustavo, now 32 years old. What a career that man has had. We took over. So that was his last season before me. So I'd like to take credit for him, but actually, you know what? He had a 20-goal season before I arrived. But since then, he's never dropped below 20 goals in a season. He has been absolutely sensational. He won the Ballon d'Or once under me. How many times has he now won it? You'd think he would be a multi-time Ballon d'Or winner. He isn't. He won it there. Tamang winning it for the first time the year after. Then Eduardo Ramad. We don't know who these guys are. Bayern Munich have had the last couple of winners. It looks like Bayern are on their way back. But Gustavo's still runner-up, Damien third in the most recent one. I love that. We'll go and look at Real Madrid in a minute. But it's good to see some of my boys right up there. The previous year, Gustavo second, Gonzalo Delgado third. Then we had Damien second that year. Damien is a world superstar. Bayern did not know what they had when they had Damien, because this guy, for 32 million... what a bargain he was for Real Madrid. And we will look at Real Madrid properly, like I say, in a minute, once we've finished looking around here at Bayern. So Ballo, now 33 years old. It's quite interesting looking at the ages, actually. We've talked about how long these players have been together, but that entire front four now are all in their 30s. So Gustavo's 32, Ballo's 33, Drury's 30, Boning 33. This club is ripe for a rebuild because you've got to get rid of this generation of players. Locatelli is 33. Stewart is 33. Norberto, 32. John is 33. Is there anyone under 30? Stubaluk even is 30 years old. Rock was 34. And then Cook at 26 is the only player in the team under 30 years old. I'm tempted to add myself as a manager to look at the club finances. We'll do that in a minute. We're just going to have a look at the transfers just to see what happened to Schultz more than anything. So let's go back to my final year. Can we go back? Is it not going to let me go back? There we go. Obviously, it is a big save file at this point as well, so the game is getting a little bit clunky. So that was my last year. So they were my transfers. And then really we're looking at players who've left. So immediately upon me leaving, the first thing that Zidane has done is sold Thomas Muller, not that one, to Chelsea, where he's not really developed into the kind of player we thought he was going to become, to be honest. Never really broke into the Chelsea team, has now had a full season playing in the Premier League for Leicester. So I guess he's finally starting to get close to potential, but not quite as good as I hoped he would be. France, no, we're just looking for sales. Cordoba to Wolfsburg, that's good business. Cordoba, we brought in for 20 million. He played 3 times and he's been sold for 43.5. That is excellent business. Good work, Zinedine. Or did I feel like I might have prearranged that. I didn't, because it happened on deadline day. I can't take the credit for that one as much as I would like to try to. The following year, Han went to Liverpool for 32. There's Schultz. Oh, goodness me, he went to Bayern Munich. That is hideous. Colin Schultz, the turncoat, went to Bayern Munich. I mean, for a start, you never thought Dortmund were making a profit on Colin Schultz when I spent £157 million on him. He had 3 years. So all 3 years, he's won the Bundesliga because he won it twice with me. Then Zidane won it his first time. Then they sold Schultz to Bayern. And that's when Bayern won the Bundesliga again. Colin Schultz is just a game changer. And then that was a Dortmund year. That was Bayern. And then it's back with Dortmund again. I cannot believe he's done that. That is hideous. Imagine having Dortmund and Bayern as your 2 favoured clubs. That man he's a conflicted little rascal, isn't he? My word. Notice Schalke not on there. Love every part of it. Right, let's have a look to see who else got sold. Diego Enrique left on a 3 in the end. He perhaps wasn't ever as good as I thought he was. The 3rd best goalkeeper in the world. I still maintain it. And then, who is Lewis Reed? Is he the youngster we signed from Norwich? He's not. Oh, I don't think I even signed him. No, I didn't. That's weird. So Zidane brought him in from Leicester. But then, again, being sold on at a profit. Ruben went to Hertha for 50 million. I think this club is going to be in a healthy financial position because we set them up with so many saleable assets. Borussia went to Chelsea for 101 million. Now, this transfer is insane because this is a club where we've just looked. The whole team is over 30. You've got this guy who we spent a lot of money on deliberately bringing in a wonder kid, so we had someone good to come through. He's 26 years old, and they've sold him to Chelsea at 24 when the entire first team was over 30. It makes no sense, especially because he was playing regularly. And then, so the same summer they've sold Schultz, they've sold Borussia. Is that right? That might not be right. It's all very complicated. No, it's not. I'm literally looking at it. Oh, my word. Salah Balabino went to Manchester United for 70 million. Again, a little bit weird because he's a little bit younger. But I guess under me, I loved Salah Balabino, but he never really played regularly after me. So I think actually they've done very well to get £70 million for what a guy who'd spent 4 years being a fringe player. Just excellent transfer work. Hesse went to Hertha for 26.5 million. That might be where we signed him from. Oh, it was Leipzig we signed him from. Okay. I mean, he was here for a long time and never really got into the team. Yikes, he was a rare loss. Right, I am going to add myself as manager because I want to see what the finances are like. So, add new manager. Just we'll re-add temporary Kev again. And then we're going to go into Germany and Borussia Dortmund. And we don't need to worry about any of this because we're just having a quick look. Yeah, can we get in now? Yeah, all good. Thank you. Can we just have a look at the finances, please? Club finances. They're 4.5 million in the red, which isn't a big deal because I mean, I'm not actually sure what's gone on there. That is interesting. They moved to a new stadium. Only 15 million of transfer net debt, no proper debt. So it's weird because this is when I was there. So we ducked a little bit down, but then obviously the crazy spending stopped. We had that transfer window where I didn't really spend, which was here when money got really high, and then it's gradually trickling down. But by and large, they're fine. They run up a little bit of debt over the course of the season, but then the end of season prize money comes in and it just about balances the books. But for some reason, the prize money is much lower there. They must have bombed out of the Champions League early, and it's caused something of a financial problem, although ultimately they are going to break even again. Wage budget is comfortable. There's a big transfer budget to spend. I tell you what, this would be a fun club to go in and do a rebuild on. I might even release this version of the save for you lot to play. And I'd be interested in hear how you get on and what you do to Dortmund and how you're able to sell these players off for. I know lots of people have asked for the original save file to be released, but I don't like releasing save files when the game is literally just finished, because I just get inundated with messages telling me the current ability and potential ability of all my players and telling me how they immediately improved something I was doing wrong. I don't need those messages. I think now we're 5 years in the future, I don't mind so much. And I think this is just a very interesting save. 5 years in the future, it's a team you all know and love, and they're all old, and you can go in and rebuild a club that's very financially healthy and completely rebuild them anew. Did they move grounds? No. Okay. Right, let's retire temporary Kev. We don't need him anymore. So retire the one managing Borussia Dortmund. So he's gone. I mean, I am completely messing with the save now. I'll give you the version that I haven't messed with too much. Maybe Kev retires. It'll be fine. I'll give you this version. It'll be fine. Right, I think we've seen everything we need to see at Dortmund. Let's go and have a look at Real Madrid to see how things are getting on there. So they've finished second in La Liga, and it looks like they've just been trading La Ligas with Barcelona. It's normal business has resumed here in Spain. This is all pretty normal, pretty standard stuff. Gonzalo Delgado is club captain. Oh, there's our boy, Julian Nagelsmann. I ruined his life in Germany, and he's now taken on one of my former clubs. Interestingly, left Bayern Munich, immediately went to Barcelona, where he only lasted a year before going to Juventus, a job I was offered, and then left Juventus after 2 years to go to Real Madrid. So he spent nearly 20 years at Bayern Munich and is now just doing a tour of all the major clubs in Europe. And we're managing Norwich next. Let's have a look at the team. Obviously, this is a little bit more time has passed. So there's going to be fewer players that we recognise. Bell is still there and a key part of the team, which is nice to see. One of my boys being a key man. Delgado, of course, in midfield. What a signing he was. What a career he's had at Real Madrid. And Bruno playing central midfield is interesting because when I was there, and I know we're going back 7, 8, 9 years now, when these boys were much younger, but I always played Bell alongside Delgado with Bruno in behind. So they've reversed it around and gone the other way. Robert Marina is still there despite being on the transfer list when I left. What I'm not seeing is Morales. We're going to go look for him in a minute, the wonder kid. Thomas Silva, still the best goalkeeper in the world. How many times has he won that? Awards. I imagine he's just winning it every year. World Goalkeeper of the Year. So Thomas Silva. There's a 9-year-old who's won it quite recently. That's ridiculous. How are you still getting players with a proper face in the game winning stuff like this in 2040? My word, there can't be many active players with a photo still in there. But yeah, he was quite a good signing, wasn't he? I still love the fact that people picked on me about that in the comments. Told you he was good. Right, did Morales end up as good as we thought he was? He's not ended up in the Real Madrid team. But is that just because they've sold him? So we're looking for Borja Morales. I guess we could just search for him, but we'll just flick through here because if we see any other obvious, awesome-looking transfers, we can have a little nose at them as well. But I'm not seeing it. So it suggests they've sold him there. Oh no, he's gone to Lazio on loan. I think. Oh no, there you go. They loaned him to Lazio, then sold him permanently. He's 24 years old now, and now playing for Napoli. So I guess from that we assume he didn't turn into the same kind of into the kind of player we hoped he would. I mean, I played him 21 times that season, and he's rarely got near that number again. He did 33 matches when he was first on loan at Lazio, but gradually lost his place in the Lazio team. Went to Hertha, never really established himself there, and has now gone to Napoli, where it looks like he joined Napoli in January and has only started 3 games. So I guess he wasn't as good as we thought he might be, which is a little bit of a shame. Let's just have a look to see. So they haven't won the Champions League since temporary Kev did. So we took them to a recent high there. They have won the La Liga 4 times since I left, though. So it's not that they didn't need me that badly. They're still doing all right domestically. I'm looking to see if I'm on the favoured personnel list. I mean, of course I'm not going to be. I didn't win the Champions League, did I? Nagelsmann is. Oh, I've taken a dislike to that man. Damien on the icons list. Love that. Love the fact that Damien is a superstar. Atundi's on there as well. Right at the top of the icons list. Gonzalo Delgado is a club legend, I've just noticed. No room for Cristiano Ronaldo on the legends list. Am I missing something here? Why is Cristiano Ronaldo only an icon at Real Madrid? So the 3 club legends at Real Madrid are Raul, Zinedine Zidane as a manager but not a player. That's weird. So Zinedine Zidane, the manager, they've really emphasised that, the manager. Zinedine Zidane is a legend. The only 2 players who are legends at Real Madrid, Raul and my signing, Gonzalo Delgado. You're welcome. Look how much money he's on. They don't learn, do they? Right, Norwich. We're going even further back now, so obviously we're going to have a briefer and briefer look at some of these teams. Norwich have won the Premier League. My word, did I set that club up for the future. So they're the 2 Premier Leagues I won, and then 10 years later, they've won the Premier League again. So they've stayed as a competitive top team. Luca Cigarini has been there for the last 5 years. In our save, he was Bayer Leverkusen manager. I didn't notice anything special coming out of them, but he has gone into Norwich and done magical things. And I love the fact captain and vice captain are Sergio Delgado and Pedro Luis. My boys are still there, and Delgado is still hammering in goals, and Pedro Luis is now 36 years old, has played 79 times for Brazil. What a signing. Norwich are a mid-table Premier League side when that Brazilian legend decided to sign for Norwich. We had to, if you remember, we threw so much money at him because there's no way he should have signed for us. And, of course, he's not on the legends list. I mean, at least Ewan Roberts is. Darren Eady. No room for Pedro Luis on there, though. Delgado makes it into the icons list. Still no. Oh, no, there's Pedro Luis right at the bottom. Just between Julian Alvarez and Christoph Zimmermann. Goodness me. What am I witnessing? Right, let's have a look at this team. Very good. There's going to be very few players from my time there. Bindy's still there. So Bindy aging now. We spent a lot of money on him. Fernandez still having to play out at fullback after all these years. 84 caps for Spain, though. So it's just useful having a player who can play everywhere. There's no one else I particularly remember from there. But it's bonkers how well Norwich have done. They still haven't won the Champions League, though. The big one still eluding Norwich. And then let's just quickly check in on what my other former clubs are doing. Schalke still not made it back into the top division in Germany. Imagine how different things could have been, eh, Schalke? Utterly self-inflicted. Oh, they did go back into Bundesliga for a year and then came back down again. Absolutely serves them right. Is Hollaback still there? It just feels like he's been there forever. He's not. And then Peterborough. I'm assuming Posh have fallen back down again. In fact, they've just been in the... I didn't notice them. They're still... The effect we had on Peterborough, who we left, 10, 15 years previously at this point, they are still bobbing back and forth between the Premier League and the Championship. I've turned Peterborough into Norwich and Norwich into Manchester City. and I'm on board with it. Look at I mean, how many promotions to the Premier League? 1. That's the one I did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The playoffs. 6. 6 promotions to the Premier League now. I mean, as a posh fan in real life, I'd probably take that. I know Norwich and West Brom fans might tell you that's not fun. I promise you, that's a lot more fun than doing it between League One and the Championship, which is what we do in real life. Right, Leamington. Last check. Of course, if you're really into Leamington, the Leamington save is continuing in Earth 2 over on LOLLUJO 2 and on Twitch. So make sure you go and check that out. In fact, there was a Leamington video came out on LOLLUJO 2 this morning as this video comes out. So go check that out if you want to see how Leamington are doing under my management. Under the management of Beardy Shane Bell, they find themselves in League One. So slowly but surely, working their way up the leagues, just developing. I mean, this is some lovely long-term development. I know we all love a quick back-to-back promotion road to glory, but this actually looks, it's one of the most realistic improvements in a club I've ever seen in Football Manager. They've gone from that promotion that we had, couple of years to establish another promotion. It's then taken, 10 years in League 2 to get the promotion to League 1. They went up and came back down again, but now they've been in League 1 for 4 or 5 years. They're starting to hover up near to the playoffs. They've got a nice ground, the Leamington Stadium. I'm not even on their favoured personnel list. Amari Theodros is now a scout for Welling. I hope he spent his entire playing career at Leamington. Of course he did. Look at that career that man's had. Signed him as a 16-year-old. He spent his entire playing career at Leamington. Obviously had a couple of seasons out on loan, but 645 appearances, 150 goals, 179 assists. He must own every individual player record at this club and will do forever. So most league goals, Theodros, 124. Most league appearances, 557 for Theodros. Obviously, some of these pre-Theodros records we ignore. Most assists in a season was, of course, Theodros. I love the fact that he went there. He just never left. He stayed forever. I don't understand how he's only an icon. I mean, let the man be a club legend. You'll never have another one like him. Of course he should be a club legend. And why he's had to go to Welling to become a scout? I think in my world, I'd probably let him come and join the backroom staff at Leamington. He's been there 20 years. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But that is the Theodros story. One other thing, just because I know there'll be a few of you interested, we'll just quickly look at, we've already looked at the Premier League. In fact, it's the Champions League we're interested in. We don't need to go around and look at all the individual leagues. We've already looked at the Ballon d'Or. Let's just have a look. Who's been winning the Champions League? Of course, Bayern Munich are fully back. Very interesting to see the year after we won it. Hertha Berlin won it, then Juventus, then Bayern, Man United, Bayern. We did our best. But, I mean, the Bundesliga is a tighter affair than it was during the dark years when Bayern won it every year. But we clearly didn't do enough to kill Bayern off. And they're back, and they're very good, and they're probably better than Dortmund again. And Colin Schultz is their best player, and it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. But there you go, boys and girls. That is my whistle-stop tour to the world of this year's Non-League to Legend 5 years into the future. Like I mentioned before, I will put a link down in the description to where you can download this save. It is only the 5 years into the future one you're getting, but that Dortmund job in particular looks like it would be a lot of fun for a rebuild, or equally taking over at Leamington, picking up from there, bringing Theodros in as assistant manager and finishing the job and getting Leamington up into the Premier League. See if we can have a Premier League that contains Norwich, Peterborough and Leamington. That would be a real thing of beauty. But once again, I said it at the end of the Champions League episode a couple of days ago, but I just want to say thank you for the incredible support on Non-League to Legend this year. It has been just a load of fun. It's my favourite Non-League to Legend we've ever done. It seems like it's your favourite as well, because views have been higher than ever. Comments, likes, all that kind of thing. The engagement and interaction with this series has been sensational. And I just hope you come with me into the series that is going to be starting on Monday. I've grown accustomed to a certain standard of living. Please don't disappear and all come back again for Non-League to Legend next year. Let me rephrase that. Please come back again for Non-League to Legend on FM23. But in the meantime, please watch some of my videos because, you know, I like this. This is fun. I feel like a real YouTuber. I've been doing it for 7 years, and this year I feel like I'm finally successful at it. Please don't take that away from me. Watch the new series. But if you have enjoyed this, or if you've enjoyed Non-League to Legend in general this year, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel and make sure your notifications are on so you know when that new video hits, because it's going to be a couple of days now. I am still on holiday as this video comes out, so bear with me. There'll be a new series starting very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching.